Hello friends, good morning. This is Prakash Samantray, working as assistant professor with Raghu Institute of Technology, Visakhapatnam. In this video, I'll discuss web application development using Django. You know, there are so many frameworks available to develop web applications, and most frequently used framework is your Java framework. But nowadays, another popular framework is used, that is Django framework. So what is Django? Django is a Python based web framework that allows you to quickly create efficient web applications. So if you want to create efficient web applications, go for Django framework, and it is very fast, secure, scalable and flexible. That's why most of the top MNCs and good websites are preferring Django framework over other frameworks. So it has so many built-in features, like admin interface. That is, it provides you one user interface automatically. No need to create HTML, CSS, all these files. Some predefined built-in user interfaces are available in this framework, and one inbuilt database is also provided here, that is SQLite. So SQLite is a default database for Django framework. Of course, you can also use some other DBMS like MySQL or PostgreSQL, all these things, right? Or you can also use MongoDB along with this Django framework. So it supports all kinds of DBMS, but SQLite is the default one. It has so many ready-made components which are used for rapid development of web applications. So many top MNCs like Instagram, Discuss, Spotify, YouTube, Bitbucket, Dropbox. These are some of the examples which are using this Django framework for their web application development. So, what are the advantages of Django? As I have already told you, this is fast, secure, scalable. That is, you can add more and more number of applications dynamically. It is flexible, right? And so many ready-made components are available to use them in your applications in an efficient way. So, what are the software requirements to use the Django application? So, these are the basic things for the students who are in BTech or MCA or MTech. If they want to develop projects using Django framework, they need to install these things: Django, Python 3.7.4 or more, a higher version. One text editor is needed here. I am using Sublime. This one is Sublime text editor. You can also use Visual Studio Editor. No issues. So I am using SQLite database browser because the default DBMS is SQLite. That's why to view the structure of the database in a graphical user interface, I am using this SQLite DB browser. So this browser will help you to see the structure of your database and structure of the table in an interface, right? And this is the XAMPP software. Installation of this one is optional. If you want to use some other servers, MySQL server, then you need to install XAMPP also. I am using SQLite here in this video series. That's why I am not installing this one. If you want to install use MySQL server, you have to install XAMPP server also, right? So to install Django in your system, first you need to install Python, right? Because Django is a Python based framework. First you have to install Python. So to check whether Python is already there in your system, you need to run the command Python. What is the command? Python. Simply you go to your command prompt. How to go to the command prompt? Windows or CMD. This is your command prompt. Here you need to type Python. So you must get the version here. You can see here the version is Python 3.7.4, means Python is already installed, because I have already installed in my system. That's why it is showing the version. If in your system Python is not there, you need to download Python from the internet. It's very easy to download the Python software. It's similar to um, or downloading any other software from the internet. You just go to Google and type download Python. It will show you, it will give you so many links, and follow the links to download the Python software. It's quite easy. And then uh, you go to click on the setup file to install the Python. Then you set the path. You have to set the path variable. Then only Python will work. Once all the things are done, you need to check whether Python is there in your system. You will get this output, right? Similarly, once Python is installed in your system, then you need to install Django. So to install Django, you need to use the command pip install Django. Once you run this command, automatically Django, the current version of or the highest version of or the compatible version of Django will be installed in your system, right? So once you install Django, then you can check Django admin version. Let me check whether it is working or not. It must give you the version of the Django software. So I have already installed Django in my system. That's why it is showing 3.0.6. If if this command won't give any output in your system, it means your Django is not in the system. You need to run this command again. Pip install Django. First you need to install this one, then you have to run the command. I'm not running this command because Django is already there in my system. I don't want to install it again, right? So that is what how you can install Django. So you need to remember, you need to understand that Django follows MVT architecture. So most of the frameworks are following MVC architecture. M stands for model, V stands for view, C stands for controller. Model deals with the database designs, database models. View deals with the user interfaces, and the controller deals with the business logic. So this is what most of the frameworks are following, right? We need to design all the database, all those kind of things in a module called as a model. So that is separately called as model. And view is another part of your project, that is your deals with your user interfaces. HTML, CSS, JavaScript can be used here. And controller deals with your business logic. So whatever you want to do in your project, all these things need to be implemented using some programming language. That code behind must be written here. So that is in controller. So this architecture is called as MVC architecture. In case of Django, this is called as MVT or MTV, you can say. Model, view, templates. So in this case, model deals with the same database designs, but view deals with the business logic here. You can see the difference between these two. In the MVC architecture, view deals with the user interfaces, but here in Django, the view deals with the business logic. That is, you need to implement the project using any of the programming languages. In this case, Python, you have to use Python here, right? So object-oriented concepts of Python should be used here. And templates deals with the user interfaces. You need to use HTML, CSS, JavaScript, or the forms concept of Django framework here to get the user interface. So this is called as your MVT or MTV architecture. So Django follows this MTV architecture. So when you install Django, you will get these three files: model.py, view.py, and one folder. You need to maintain one folder called as templates to hold all your HTML files. So these three things are there in your Django architecture. You'll come to know once you install the Django software. As I have already told you how to install Django, you just need to open the command prompt, then type Python to check whether Python is already there or not. If Python is already there, then only install Django. How to install Django? Pip install Django, or pip install Django equals to 3.0. So you can also install a particular version here using this syntax. After installing Django, you can check the version of Django like this, right? Or by using Django hyphen admin space minus minus version. That is also another command to check whether Django is successfully installed or not. Right? Python hyphen m Django version. So Python hyphen m Django minus minus version. You can use this one, or you can also use this one. Both will give you the same result, right? Both the commands will give you the output as the version of the Django as the output, right? Fine. Now, once you have installed Django, you need to create the project, because you are going to create a web application. A web application is a project. It has many modules inside it, right? So first you need to decide in which location you want to create a project. So in a particular folder, you create a folder at any place. I am creating on the desktop. Let's say I'll name it as new project, right? I've created a new project on the desktop. You can use the mkdir command to create a folder that will be there in the administrator folder. I have created on the desktop. Now you just need to go to cd. Okay, fine. Let me close this. I want to go to this folder. So why to use the cd command again and again? So I'll directly go here. I've opened the folder and now I'll open the CMD directly from here. It's very easy, right? So now from this folder I'll create a project. To create a project, the command is Django admin start project name. What is the project name? You can give any project name, any user friendly project name is advisable. Let's say I'll give student project is the project name. So once you run this command, you can see one folder is created here. Inside the new project, one folder is automatically created. Once you open that folder, you'll get another folder with the same name, student project, and one manage.py. This is a Python file, right? That's why I'm telling manage.py, because it is a Python file. And in this student project, a list of files, all these are Python files, right? Underscore underscore init underscore underscore. So this init is used to indicate that the whole project is a Python project. So we are not going to use this init. We are not going to use all the ASGI, WSGI, all these things. The most important files are settings and URLs. So all the settings or whatever changes you want to add or you want to make to your project need to be specified here in settings .py file. Suppose you want to create one application, you need to register that application here. Suppose you want to change your database, you need to register here. Suppose you want to change a default path to the images folder, you need to specify here, right? And all the default packages, the default objects which are used in Django framework are also specified here in settings.py. You can go to that settings.py and check all these things. Now URLs, URL stands for Uniform Resource Locator. Whenever you are going to search something in the web, you are using some URL, right? So whenever you are going to access one application, then also you need to use some URL. So what URLs you are going to use in your application, in your project, need to be specified here. You need to specify the URL along with the corresponding actions in this url.py file. We'll see one by one. Similarly, a manage.py file is also very very important, because when you want to run your server, when you want to run your project, you need this manage.py. So using this, when you execute this manage.py, automatically your project will be run, right? See here, I'll show you. See, you have created new project here. Let us check what are the files available here. The files are student project only. Again, go to cd student project, go inside the folder. Now you check dir, manage.py should be there. Now you have to run your server. To run the server, you need to execute this command: python space manage.py run server. Enter. So you can see here the server has started running here. Starting development server at http colon double slash 127.0.0.1. This is the local host IP address, and 8000 is a port address. So in the local host, at this port, the server has started running, right? Now you can check whether the server has started or not. You go to the web browser, any web browser, Google Chrome or this Firefox. You can open any of the web browsers. Now you just go to http colon double slash 127.0.0.1 8000. Is it the address? What is that address? One, oh, some error is there here. Okay, don't use HTTPS, you use HTTP colon, right? So 127, don't use HTTPS, you need to use HTTP, right? So, or simply you can also write localhost colon 8000. You can see here the install worked successfully. Congratulations, that is your server is now running. The server is now running. You can check here. Fine. Now you create applications. See, one project may contain many applications, many modules. One project may contain many modules. Each of the module can be considered as one application. Suppose login module, that is one application, or suppose a student module, that is one application. Account module, that is another application. So many applications you can create in your project. So to create applications, you need to use this command python manage.py stat app name, right? Python manage.py stat app name. So you need to run this command. You press Ctrl Z here. My system is a little bit slow. I press Ctrl Z. Oh, okay. Now you create the application. Python space manage.py. You can see manage.py is here used. We are running that manage.py using the Python command. Python space manage.py start app name. Let's say app name is student. Enter. So command executed successfully. You can see one app is created here, student. Inside that app, again, so many Python files are generated. So to see all these things in a hierarchical way, in a tree structure, you can use a Sublime text editor. As I have already told you, one text editor is used here. I am using Sublime text editor. Simply you install this from the internet. Download Sublime text editor, install it. Then open this. Right. Now to open your project, you simply go to File, Open Folder. See, I have created the project on the desktop. Now what is the project name? New project. uh, Project name is student project. Again, you when you open this, you get another student project, and student is the app here. So you just go back and open the project itself. See, this is the Sublime text editor. I have opened the project here. The student project is my project name. Inside that folder you have another project. Manage.py is a Python file to run your server. SQLite 3 is the database, default one. Inside the student project, you have settings.py, url.py. The settings.py has already some settings available. This is your url.py where you need to specify the URLs. First one is admin. Admin is a URL. It's already specified. That is when you use the URL admin here, automatically some admin page will be opened, right? You need to run the server for this purpose. Run the server, run server. Once server is running, you can use the admin, you can open the admin page here. So admin URL is already specified here. If you want to specify some other URLs, you need to specify here using the same path. Suppose I'll specify hi. Hi is the URL. So whenever you are accessing hi, something should be happened. So what should be happened? I need to write the logic here. I will call a function here. So views dot, let's say the name of the function is also hi, right? And you specify the name is hi. Save it. Control S for to save this file. See, hi is the URL. Whenever you access hi, we are calling the function hi. This function hi is available in which file? Views.py. I'll tell you where is that views.py. and name is given as hi. You can give any name here so that we can use it later, right? So views dot hi. When you access hi, the hi method in the views file should be invoked. Now you go to the app, student app. You see one file is there, views.py. Views.py is there. Here you need to define that function. What is the function? Define hi. See, you are sending a request to the server. That's why you must write request here, because server always receives request. Now, once the request is received, the server must serve something, must give a response. That's why we'll write some response here. So it will return some response in the HTTP response. This is called HTTP response. Hello friends. Let's say this message is sent as a reply. So HTTP response is one of the predefined method. So you need to import that from Django.http import HTTP response. This need to be written. You need to import HTTP response if you want to use that, right? So in the views file of your application, I've defined a function, I defined a method hi. What is the purpose of this method? It accepts a request and gives a response. In that response, it is supplying one message, that is hello friends, right? Now when you go to again urls.py, you have used views.hi. You can see here views is in your application, whereas url is there in your project. You can see the tree structure here. urls.py is there in your project, views.py is there in your application. So you need to include from your app, student is your app, import views. From the student app you need to import the views. Now you just check the command prompt if any error is there. So whenever you make some changes and save the files, if any error occurs, it will be displayed in the command prompt, remember. So here only you can check the errors. Okay, whatever error is there you can see here, or when you run that in the browser, there also you can see the errors. So what is the URL here? Hi. So go to the browser and you go to the local host 8000. In place of admin, I'll use hi here, hi as the URL. Just click on hi. See, you have seen hello friends here. You can also use some HTML tags, like suppose I will use h2, automatically the things will be changed. Save, refresh. See, hello friends is in bold now because I've used h2 tag. Oh, sorry. Similarly, you can also use some tag center. Hello friends is now displayed in the center. So The purpose here is you need to specify the URL here. So whatever URLs you want to use in your project, you need to specify that, and you need to specify the action need to be taken whenever the URL mapping. Whenever hi is accessed, what action need to be taken? That is specified in this method. And hi is a method which is defined in the views file. So you go to the views file and you need to define that method here. So what the business logic is written here. As I have already told you in the beginning, views deals with the business logic, right? So we have not yet used any templates, not yet used any models, database, right? In the upcoming videos, I'll show you how to use the databases and how to connect to the database to store some data or to retrieve the data. We'll check it in our next video. So please stay tuned. Thank you for watching. Thank you.